Right, so we have just some egg crate diffuser here, and I've marked, probably can't see on the camera, but I've marked dimensions that will fit the top of the tank. And I'm going to cut out the base for the basking platform. I'm just using my little hacksaw blade because it fits in here nicely. We bought some really good scissors that will cut through this plastic, but it also tends to snap it off in places where we don't want it to snap off. So we've already done a practice run, and the piece I used for that practice run is actually a piece that I'm going to use to get my ramp. So we'll cut a form basically like this, and then there will be a ramp attached that comes down into the water so that she can climb up to get into her basking spot. So I'll be back in a bit when we have some more cuts made. So I have my top piece cut, including the opening for the ramp. So the ramp will, how do you do this one? The ramp will attach there and go down into the water. That's the next step. Alright, so we've got this side in place. Sorry about the glare, but we don't have a lot of lights in the living room. Little basking area, so that's going to be covered. We have a terrarium cover that's going to go over that. And then on this side, so I bought a painter's tray because I needed something kind of shallow, but we're going to put some sand, maybe some stones in here, and she'll have a ramp that she can get up into this. I might have a little plant over here just so she's got some, you know, something more like ground to be on from time to time. I cut the front off of the painter's tray, so this was on there. I cut that off because it had a big ledge and it just wasn't, the logistics of her climbing over a ledge to get in here didn't make sense. So this will, I'm trimming this piece here now because it's going to sit in front of this painter's tray, and then it'll have the cutout also for a ramp. And then the painter's tray, again, I've got to cut off a couple more rows of that, and then the painter's tray will sit here. So she climbs up the ramp to get into her little sandbox. And that's where we are now. Here, girl, let's try this out. My gosh, she must weigh like 8 pounds. Ooh. She says, what is this? What is that? That's side one. You got a lot of swimming room now, honey. What do you know, Yancy? What do you know? You want to go back down in the water? You going to turn around? I hope that area is big enough. Yeah, maybe she'll just sit up there a minute. Maybe she'll sit up there a minute. What is this place? Hi, girl. Hi, girl. Y'all, she is so much bigger even than I remembered when I picked her up to take her out of the other tank. I think she weighs like 7 or 8 pounds. Hey, girl. I gotta put a hinge on this right here. This is just temporary because we don't have the second tank. So the second tank will sit right here, and then this will be a double wide area across the top. You going down? Hi, girl. Uh-oh. Can you make it? There she goes. Yay! She went down the ramp. Wow, you've never had that much water to swim in, have you? I'm debating on whether or not we'll put rocks. That's what she's used to, but it just makes it harder to clean. You got some breathing space. You got some breathing space. She's just so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. So I'll be really happy when I find her up on the basking spot on her own. Yancy is really trying to get Pippin's attention. Teach her how to use that ramp, but I think she needs to figure it out on her own. You got a nice basking spot up here, honey. She just really wants Pippin to notice her. This is pretty much, this is the concept anyway, but we just put her other little basking dock back into this one. We're going to move her to this side in just a little bit for tonight, just so she does have a place that she knows how to use to get out of the water if she wants out of the water during the night. She's enjoying this side. I need to wipe that off. I don't know if you can see her in there, down at the other end. And then this will probably, we may still move that to the other end, and she'll have a little sandbox up here. So that middle partition will not be there. She'll be able to walk straight across this end of the topper and have a basking area here, a little sandbox with a basking area here, and then it'll have a little ramp that goes down so that then she can get into the water here. I might still leave that in and we'll just move it down to this end. But the objective was to have more swimming space for her and not so much stuff, here she is, in the tanks that she couldn't swim freely. Hi girl, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. Oh, that's just the backing. So, still a little bit to go, but this is, I'm pleased. This is what I was shooting for. We didn't buy any sand yet. So, again, this is going to be her little sand tray, and then it'll have this, ramp in front of it over on this other end of the tank. That's a full day's work for sure. I got her light on here again. I put her up here on the basking dock, but she jumped down, and I'm just having to watch that temperature, because since the light is so much farther from the dock than it was when her tank was over there. Yeah, I can't get it to focus. We're at about 86 degrees right now, which really isn't warm enough for her, so I think I'm going to put a higher wattage heat bulb in there. This is her dual UVB and heat. Yeah, that's your old tank, girl. Interestingly, these are both 55-gallon tanks, but the dimensions of this one are slightly smaller than the dimensions of the one we just bought. But I think that's a pretty sweet setup right there. That's a lot of turtle. And I told Richard, I think we'll probably just place the little sandbox on top of this dock. Okay, I don't know why that flashed like that just now. So, it's still a work in progress, but it's coming along beautifully. Yeah, looky there. Oh, she wants a snack. That's why she's hanging out right there, because I usually give her a snack this time of the night. Okay, I'll be right back, girl. That submersible pump right there, for some reason, stopped working. At least it wasn't working. This one was working when we got this one set up, and I thought we could probably get by with just those two sources of filtration. Those are supposed to each be able to handle, I think, 30 gallons, and this is a 55-gallon tank that's not quite full. But when that one stopped working, I knew we wouldn't have enough filtration, so we went ahead and added the old filter here. I was concerned that it would just look bad here on the outside of the system, but it doesn't. It's not very noticeable. Hey girl, look, you got your old tank back. Oh my gosh, I love her so. Get up on your basking dock, baby. You gonna show everybody how you get up on your sandbox basking dock? It's not time to eat again. Pippin, this is not your video. Pippin, come on, this is not your video, baby, go. This is not your video, baby, go. So I realized I couldn't move this basking dock here to this end because the intake for the filter sticks out into the tank, and that fits flush against the glass. So earlier I had mentioned that we might have the sandbox at one end and that basking dock at the other end, but can't do that again just because of the pump and the filter here that we had to put in. We did get this submersible pump working again. It just had a clog around the impeller, so we took it out of the tank, cleaned it again, and took it apart just to make sure that that wasn't the issue. And sure enough, got a nice little blob of debris out of there, and it's working like a charm again. I wanted to have a little extra filtration in this tank anyway, because the sand, I'm sure, is going to be constantly, you know, swirling around in there as she uses that dock. We've had her over on this side every now and then, but she hasn't quite figured out how to get up the ramp on that side, so I don't want to stress her out by not letting her have, you know, free access to dry spaces when she wants them. But I will put her over there again every now and then, just so we can help train her on how to go up the ramp. She's not afraid to go down it, and I am encouraged that that opening I cut into it is big enough to accommodate her, because she really is big. I had not held her in a while prior to picking her up to move her into her new tank for this project. So I was taken by surprise at just how big and heavy she is right now. She really does like Pippin. That's so interesting to me. Anyway, we still need to work on some way to contain all of the cords and things, but this was a relatively simple project. Big challenge was just figuring out how to cut this egg crate material, because it can snap if you put too much pressure on it. We bought some great scissors that, you know, cut through it, but they also applied a little too much pressure, and then went through a whole lot of cable ties, because it took a couple of attempts here and there to fasten things together, and then realized that we should have done it a different way. We heard her climbing up that ramp.
What?
Good girl, Yancy. Good girl. Good girl. She's still not sure about the sand, but I'm just happy to see her up there getting some sun rays. Pretty good. I'll take 90 degrees. That's good. So I'm sure there will be revisions that come with time, but everything is working great. This is a nice spot for it. Obviously, you can see we got a lot of room here still. She's a little more centered in the family, so that, you know, when we're here in the living room, she's closer. And I just really think she's enjoying the new view. So thanks for following along. And if for any reason you need a similar setup, at least you'll have a little bit to go on. Say bye, Pippin. Say bye-bye. Say bye, Yancy. My beautiful girl.